There are stories of love that seem to sparkle with all the promise of a fairy tale. Beneath the surface of passion, there's something darker, more insidious, something that can change your life forever. This is the story of a forbidden romance, a love that began with desire but ended in betrayal, a love that seduced, manipulated, and ultimately shattered. Welcome to Stars and Stories. Tonight, we delve into a tale of seduction and betrayal, the dark side of a forbidden romance. It started innocently enough. It always does. She had always been a devoted partner, loyal to a fault, or so she thought. He, on the hand, was new, charming, confident, and undeniably magnetic. They met in a setting where fate had an odd way of the ordinary. It was a work event, a meeting that brought them together. His charm was subtle at first, innocent compliments, lingering glances, and the kind of attention that made her feel special, desirable. But there was something more to him, a hidden depth behind those dark eyes, something she couldn't quite place. It was as if he studied her, learned her every move, her every desire, and knew exactly how to draw her in. As the weeks passed, their connection deepened. What began as innocent conversations soon turned into late-night chats and secret meetings. She had never felt so alive, so seen. His words were intoxicating. He told her things she had never heard before, the things she wished for in her current relationship but never received. He made her wanted in a way that made her heart race. But there was something dangerous in his gaze, a coldness, a predator's watchfulness that he refused to acknowledge. They had crossed a line. This wasn't just an affair of the heart. It was an affair of manipulation, and she didn't even see it coming. But love can be deceiving, can't it? In the midst of their secret world, where passion and deception intertwined, the walls began to close in. She thought she was in control, that the affair was a secret she could keep hidden. But in truth, she was the one being played. He began to pull away, slowly at first. The late-night calls became less frequent, and the attention she once craved turned into silence. He became distant, almost indifferent, as if the entire affair had been nothing more than a game to him. One night, she confronted him. She asked him what was happening, why things had changed, and that's when the betrayal unfolded. With a cold, calculated response, he admitted the truth. He had never loved her. He had used her as a pawn in a much larger game. He was never interested in a future with her, only in the power he had over her. His words hit her like a wrecking ball, shattering everything she had believed. The emotional devastation was instant and overwhelming. But as he walked away, leaving her in the ruins of their affair, she realized something even darker. She had been manipulated. He had preyed on her vulnerabilities, her need for validation, her desire to be seen, to be loved. It wasn't love he had offered. It was a carefully crafted illusion designed to ensnare her, to feed his ego, to have control over someone else's emotions. The more she thought about it, the more she realized the truth. His seduction was never about affection. It was about power. After he left, she was lost. Her mind raced with confusion and self-doubt. How could she have been so blind? How had she let herself be consumed by someone who had never cared for her at all? The emotional scars were deep. The feelings of betrayal, humiliation, and heartbreak lingered for months. The shame of having fallen for his lies, the guilt of betraying her partner, and the sense of being used like a tool for someone else's amusement. But the most haunting realization was this: she had been in love with a lie, a perfect, seductive mask, hiding a cold, calculating manipulator, and now she had to face the consequences. Time passed, as it always does, and slowly she began to rebuild. The pain of betrayal didn't disappear overnight, but eventually it became easier to breathe again, She learned to forgive herself, to understand that her vulnerability had been exploited, but that didn't mean she was weak. This experience taught her a hard but valuable lesson. Not all relationships are built on love. Some are built on manipulation. And sometimes the most seductive lies can have the darkest consequences. But she survived. She learned to trust herself again, to guard her heart more carefully, and to never let anyone have power over her emotions again. And though the scar would always be there, it became a symbol of her strength, her growth, and her ability to rise from the ashes of betrayal. Sometimes the most beautiful romances come with the darkest consequences, but in the end, the greatest love you can find is the one you have for yourself. Thank you for joining me tonight on this journey through the shadows of seduction and betrayal. If you found strength in this story, remember, you are never alone. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stars and Stories for more mysterious tales that make us think, reflect, and grow. Until next time, stay curious and always trust your heart.